The trial of feelings, a hidden mercy beyond comprehension. Close your eyes, breathe. Again they flood your mind, thoughts of that person. You believed time would soften the ache, that prayers would dissolve the longing. Yet here you are, mornings drenched in memories, nights haunted by echoes of their voice. You've begged Allah, remove this pain, erase this attachment. But the feelings linger, stubborn as tides refusing to retreat. Why? Why does Allah let this torment persist? Is it punishment, a test, or a mercy veiled in shadows? The answer lies not in the absence of suffering, but in its purpose. Every tear, every silent plea, every tremor of your heart is a brushstroke in a masterpiece you cannot yet see. These emotions, raw, relentless, are not flaws. They are tools in the hands of the divine, chiseling you into a soul stronger, wiser, closer to Him. Consider this. What if your pain is the very thing saving you? Allah says in the Quran, perhaps you hate a thing, and it is good for you, and perhaps you love a thing, and it is bad for you. Allah knows, while you know not. 2:216. That person you ache for, what if their absence shields you from a future calamity? What if this longing redirects your heart to the only one who can truly fulfill it? Tests are not meant to break you, but to remake you. When Allah leaves a wound open, it is to cleanse, not to infect. Reflect on the story of Prophet Yaqub S. For years he wept for Yusuf S., his sight stolen by grief. Yet Allah did not immediately reunite them. Why? Because in that separation, Yaqub's faith was refined. His tears became a ladder to closeness with Allah, a raw, unfiltered dua that echoed in the heavens. Your tears too are heard. Your pain is not ignored. It is curated by divine wisdom. Ask yourself, what is this trial teaching me? Patience, surrender, detachment from worldly illusions. Every moment you choose to turn to Allah, even while your heart aches, is a victory. This attachment is not your enemy, it is your teacher. And Allah, the best of teachers, knows exactly what your soul needs to ascend. 2. Human attachment, a divine blueprint for your soul's evolution. Love, raw, consuming, relentless, is not random. It is a divine script etched into your story for a reason far grander than you perceive. That person who lingers in your heart. They are a mirror reflecting parts of you that need healing, growth, or awakening. Imagine a potter molding clay. The pressure is brutal, the spinning wheel dizzying, but without that force, the vessel would collapse. Similarly, this love, or its loss, is pressure shaping your soul. The Prophet Sallallahu said, "How wonderful is the affair of the believer. His matter is always good. If he faces ease, he is grateful, and that is good for him. If he faces hardship, he is patient, and that is good for him." Muslim, your attachment too is good, if you let it guide you to patience, gratitude, or deeper tawakkul, reliance on Allah. Consider this. What if Allah placed this person in your path not to stay, but to stir something within you, to dismantle pride, to ignite empathy, to force you to your knees in prayer? Sometimes the greatest blessings wear the disguise of loss. The companion Abu Bakr, R.A., wept when his son embraced Islam, fearing persecution. Yet that son, Abdullah, became a pillar of faith. What seemed like danger was destiny. Or ponder the love of Khadija, R.A., for the Prophet, saw. Her unwavering support anchored him during Revelation's storm. Yet after her death, his grief was immense. Allah did not erase that pain. He let it carve space for deeper resilience, preparing him for greater trials. Your grief too is preparing you. This attachment is a rahmaniyah, a mercy in disguise. Perhaps it's saving you from a haram relationship, distracting you from a harmful ambition or teaching you the weight of sabr, patience. Every time you choose Allah over your desires, every time you whisper, Hasbunallahu wa ni'mal wakil, Allah is sufficient for us and He is the best disposer of affairs, you pass a test older than time itself. 3. The love that chains versus the love that liberates, a divine dichotomy. Love can be a prison or a portal. It chains you to dunya's fleeting illusions or frees you to seek the eternal. How do you know which is which? Signs of a chaining love. It distracts you from salah, Quran, or acts of worship. It feeds jealousy, obsession, or anxiety. It makes you compromise your values. You feel incomplete without the person. Signs of a liberating love. It inspires you to be better, kinder, more patient, more Allah-conscious. It coexists with peace, even in absence. It reminds you that true fulfillment lies with Allah alone. The Prophet, ﷺ, said, "Souls are like conscripted soldiers. Those they recognize, they get along with, and those they do not, they will not." Bukhari. This hadith speaks to divinely ordained connections, but even soulmates can become idols if they eclipse Allah. Reflect on Maryam, A.S. Her love for Allah was so consuming that she withdrew from society, dedicating herself to worship. Yet Allah blessed her with Isa, A.S., a son who became a miracle. Her detachment from worldly ties attached her to divine purpose. Your test is to love without worshipping, to care without clinging, to hold bonds lightly, knowing Allah may sever them to protect you. As Rumi wrote, "Why are you so afraid of emptiness? The cure for pain is in the pain. Lean into the ache. Let it empty you of false attachments, so Allah can fill you with Himself." 4. Transcending the trial, a step-by-step journey to emotional freedom. Step 1. Acceptance, the doorway to peace. Fighting emotions amplifies them. Instead, kneel and say, "Allah, I accept this as your decree. Help me understand its wisdom." The moment you stop resisting, the trial loses its grip. Step 2. Dua, the weapon of the believer. Don't just ask for the feeling to vanish. Ask for clarity. Ya Allah, show me why this is happening. If they're good for me, unite us in halal. If not, replace this love with something that nourishes my soul. Step 3. Ilm, knowledge, armor against heartbreak. Study stories of prophets who endured greater losses. Read Surah Duha, revealed to comfort the prophet, ensured Allah, during isolation. Allah says, "Did He not find you lost and guide you? Did He not find you poor and enrich you?" 93.7-8. Your cure is in His promises. Step 4. Sabr, patience, the path to elevation. Sabr isn't passive endurance, it's active faith. Each time you redirect thoughts from the person to Allah, you earn rewards unseen. The Prophet, ﷺ, said, "No fatigue, disease, sorrow or grief befalls a Muslim, even a thorn that pricks them, without Allah expiating their sins because of it." Bukhari. Step 5. Tafakkur, reflection. Mining gold from Pain Journal Your Journey. Ask, how has this pain softened my heart? What sins has it made me abandon? How has it deepened my reliance on Allah? Step 6. Service, healing through giving. Volunteer. Comfort others in grief. The companion Abu Darda, R.A., said, "Grieving for the dead is a mercy, but weeping for the living is a warning. Redirect your emotional energy into uplifting others." Step 7. Time, the ultimate revealer. Allah says, "With hardship comes ease." 94:6. Time doesn't heal, Allah does, but He does it in stages. Trust His timeline. The hidden blessing, when the veil lifts one day, you'll look back and understand. Like Hajjaj ibn Yusuf, who was initially cursed for his cruelty, but later praised for restoring unity. Or like the Sahaba who fled to Abyssinia, thinking it exile, only to find safety and dawah opportunities. Your story is still being written. That person. They were a side character in a plot authored by Allah. The protagonist is you and your journey to Him. Allah says, "And He found you lost and guided you." 93.7. You weren't lost in love. You were lost before it. And through it, Allah is guiding you home. Every great soul leaves a mark. If someone's memory lingers, let it be a catalyst for khair, good. Forgive them, pray for them, then release them, not to the abyss, but to Allah's care. The Prophet, Sallallahu, said, "When Allah loves a servant, He tests them." Tirmidhi. Your test is proof of divine love, so wear your scars as badges of honor. Let your heartbreak be a bridge for others. And remember, the more a heart is shattered for Allah's sake, the more light it can hold.